The Kethvar research vessel Enlightenment's Edge drifted silently through the debris field, its sensors painting detailed holographic displays of the ancient battlefield. Captain Zexthai's four eyes tracked the massive energy signatures emanating from the center of the graveyard, signatures that defied everything their science claimed possible. "Captain," chirped Communications Officer Velness, her crystalline voice tinged with confusion, "we're detecting active power readings from that derelict. But according to our scans, this battle occurred over 100,000 years ago." Zexthai's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. The Kethvar had explored this region of space for millennia, cataloging the remnants of countless extinct civilizations. Yet this debris field was different. The wreckage bore scorch marks and weapon signatures unlike anything in their databases, primitive yet devastatingly effective. "Take us closer," he commanded. As they approached, the source of the energy readings became clear. At the battle's epicenter floated a single vessel, its hull scarred by eons of combat yet somehow intact. The ship was massive, easily dwarfing their research vessel, but its design was crude, angular, lacking the elegant curves of advanced starfaring species. "Life signs." "Captain," reported scanner technician Mordak, his tentacles dancing across the interface. "Impossible as it seems, there are multiple biological signatures aboard that vessel." The discovery sent ripples of excitement through the crew. First contact with an active ancient civilization would revolutionize their understanding of galactic history. As they established a docking connection, Zexthai assembled his finest xenologists and historians. The airlock hissed open, revealing a dimly lit corridor lined with metal so primitive it made their tools seem like magic. Strange symbols covered the walls, angular, aggressive markings that seemed to pulse with menace even in the flickering emergency lighting. "Atmospheric composition is suitable," announced Velness, consulting her scanner. "Though the air carries traces of—" "Captain, these readings indicate recent combat. Very recent." They pressed deeper into the ship, following the strongest life signs. The vessel's interior told a story of unending warfare. Blast marks scarred every surface, makeshift repairs covered older damage, and the very walls seemed to echo with the ghosts of battles fought in cramped corridors and junction points. In the ship's central command area, they found them. 12 beings sat around a circular table, their forms unfamiliar yet undeniably sentient. They were tall, bipedal, with pale skin stretched over lean frames. Their faces were angular, dominated by small, forward-facing eyes that tracked the Kethvar delegation with predatory intensity. Most striking were their expressions. Not the confusion or fear the research team expected, but something far more unsettling. Amusement. One of the beings stood, its movements fluid despite obvious age. When it spoke, the translation matrix struggled with the harsh consonants and aggressive tones of its language. "Welcome aboard the Eternal Vigil," the creature said, its lips pulling back to reveal small, sharp teeth. "I am Commander Sarah Chen, though I suspect Commander doesn't quite translate the weight of what I've become." Zexthai's universal translator parsed the words, but the meaning felt incomplete. We greet you, Commander Chen. I am Captain Zexthai of the Kethvar Confederation. We came investigating energy signatures from this ancient battlefield." Chen's laugh was like grinding metal. "Ancient?" "Captain, we've been fighting this battle for 100,000 years. Every single day. The same battle over and over." The Kethvar exchanged confused glances. Velness stepped forward, her crystalline form refracting the emergency lighting. "Commander, our scans indicate this engagement ended millennia ago. How is continuous combat possible?" "Ah." Chen smiled wider, and the expression sent involuntary shudders through the alien visitors. "You haven't met humans before, have you?" She gestured to her companions around the table. "Allow me to introduce Lieutenant Torres, 96,000 years of service. Sergeant Morrison, 87,000. Each of us has died in this battle between 3,000 and 5,000 times." The words made no sense, but the scanning equipment confirmed impossible vital signs. These beings showed signs of extreme age, yet their cellular activity suggested they were in their physical prime. "Commander," Zexthai managed, "death is permanent. How do you die and come back?" Chen interrupted. "Simple. We refuse to stay dead." She moved to a viewport showing the debris field beyond. This was the Battle of Kepler's Gate. The Void Swarm, you probably know them as the Great Extinction, cornered the last human fleet here. 37 ships against 10,000. We knew we couldn't win. Chen's eyes grew distant. But we also knew that if we fell, every other species in this galaxy would follow. The swarm consumed everything, matter, energy, consciousness itself. So we made a choice. She turned back to the stunned aliens. We decided we'd rather fight forever than let evil win once. Mordek's tentacles trembled as he consulted his readings. The energy signatures? They're not from your ship's power core. They're from you. From your consciousness itself. Bingo, said Sergeant Morrison, speaking for the first time. Turns out that when a human decides something with absolute conviction, when we really truly commit, reality gets a bit flexible. Commander Chen nodded. We've been holding this line for 1,000 centuries. Every time the swarm pushes through, we push back. Every time we die, we get back up. Every single day, we choose to fight. The implications staggered the Cathvar team. But the cost, Velnus whispered. The isolation, the endless repetition, the pain. Chen's expression softened slightly. Officer, in our species' short history, we learned something important. There are things worth any sacrifice. Freedom is one. The right to exist is another. The chance for others to find their own way among the stars. She smiled grimly. That's worth everything. As if summoned by her words, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Through the viewports, space itself seemed to writhe as something vast and hungry, pressed against the boundaries of reality. And there's our cue, Chen said, moving toward the command stations with practiced efficiency. Captain Zexthai, I strongly recommend you leave. Now. The Cathvar team fled toward their ship as the human vessel came alive around them. Through the airlocks, they caught glimpses of the crew moving with inhuman precision, taking positions they'd held countless times before. As the Enlightenment's edge pulled away, they watched the ancient human ship charge directly into the writhing darkness. Energy weapons that should have been impossible blazed to life, and the void itself seemed to recoil from their fury. Captain, Velnus said quietly as they reached safe distance. Should we report this? Zexthai watched the distant battle, where 12 immortal humans held back the darkness of an entire universe. Yes, he said finally. But more importantly, we need to ensure their sacrifice isn't forgotten. And perhaps, he paused considering, perhaps we need to learn what it truly means to commit. In the distance, the eternal vigil fought on, as it had for 100,000 years. As it would for 100,000 more. Because somewhere in the vast indifference of space, humanity had planted its flag and declared, this far and no further. And the universe, for all its cruel immensity, had no choice but to listen.